Check 1 2, what up? What's up, guys? Welcome to Fishy Hour. Woo! It's always a rush to wrap up everything at work and get the guests ready and get everything going. So Scottie's gonna be a little bit late today, but we'll just jump. We'll have him on as soon as he calls in. Have everything ready. Everything is set up. But until then, we get to hang out and just talk like we did before, like when this thing first got started. Do you remember that when we used to talk? I feel like we haven't hung out even though we've been doing this the whole week. I feel like I'm too focused on trying to like grow stuff to just kind of hang out with you guys. So let's just hang out until Scottie calls, and Scottie calls, we'll interview him and it'll be fun, and you can ask him all kinds of fishing questions and it's gonna be fun. Okay? So almost finished watching your latest video. Looking good. Awesome. Thanks, Roy. Yeah, guys, I just put out a video on my regular channel about when we went out to San Diego Bay, and it's fun. As you guys can probably tell, I've been really experimenting and learning what's it called, Adobe After Effects, and just learning how to use Adobe Premiere Pro better. And I'm trying to make the videos a little bit better. Like, we definitely stepped it up this week. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. So how was the stream, guys? It should be good. It's showing excellent as it was showing yesterday. Hopefully we don't run into any issues today. So should be good. Okay, so this song is over, we will crack the drink open. Go grab a drink. Make sure you have a drink for today. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. Just could be any refreshing drink. Let's do some shout outs real quick. Okay, let's see who's on here. I see NKR Fishing and Outdoors. What's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. I see Andrew in the house. What's up? I see TB Metal Art. Todd. Awesome. Aiden, if you're watching, I had to block you last night because I wasn't sure what was happening. But if you want to talk about it, I'm available on Discord. Let's talk. And I'll let you back in the group. No big deal. Okay. Just, I know maybe we all have bad days. We all have days where we're a little stressed more than usual. But if you want to talk about it, hit me up through Discord. You can find me there, and we'll figure something out. Okay. Nothing against you personally or anything like that, but I'm always down to like hear you out and talk about stuff if you need someone to talk to. Okay. Sandra, what's up? Welcome back. What's happening? Hey, Sandra, how's the stream today? Hopefully it's doing better. Dario in the house. What's up? And Leonard, yeah. Roy says, almost finished watching your latest video. Thanks. Cool. That was like part of the rush. I needed to get it out and get it out there before I started the show. So when we're done with the show, hopefully you guys can go watch that new video and like give it a little bump, and make sure you watch to the end. I put a lot of extra work into that video because I'm doing like I was saying earlier, I'm trying to learn to make better videos, and I've been really playing with Adobe After Effects. So all these little moving words and all that stuff. And the whole thing that triggered that was trying to stream on Twitch for Tuesdays. So I was like, well, I can make this better. So I need to work on some stuff. And then I started working on transitions. Like, for example, here. Let me see if I can do it here real quick. My browser screen. So browser. Let's see. This is probably what messed it up yesterday. Let's see if this messes it up. Okay, I'm gonna do a transition into a stream. I don't think it was a transition that messed it up. I think it was more like the showing a browser that messed it up. Let's see, browser source. Let's see if this makes a difference. Okay. A new one. Just call it browser. Okay, and I think that's probably what it was that messed it up last time. Okay, maybe not. Back here. So there we go. Anyway, okay, let's keep it going. Okay, so happy Thursday. I'm gonna crack open this drink. Let's see, between 1 and 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. I'm gonna boost my mic up for the ultimate pop top. Here we go. Oh man, that one was violent. That was a good one. There we go. Back. I was gonna pop this shout out so I can talk to you guys while this is happening. Okay, cool. Okay, I see Sanders in here. Okay, good. I see Leonard. Okay, Salty. I was watching an After Effects tutorial on it. It's pretty intense. Yeah, it's weird. It's like Photoshop and Premiere mixed together, and so many different variables. And if you don't have your mouse in the right place, it's like messes everything up. Oh no! While I was making this transition here for this for this browser pop up like this, it was like I had the whole thing done and I lost it like after saving it. After I didn't save it and I just lost it. I had to start over from scratch. Kevin, what up? I'm going to AFK here, making dinner. Okay, cool, awesome. I think AFK means he's gonna sit here and watch. I think AFK means he's gonna hang out and not watch. So leave his phone logged in. I think. Streaming good so far. Awesome. That sounds awesome. Doug, what did Doug do? Doug, what are you drinking? Oh, I got a 10. A 10. 7.8. A 9. Yes. Just finished making the perfect boat burger. Score is 9 for 8. Nice. I'm just drinking the Zevia Zero Cola. I'm still drinking the Zevia Zero Cola, even though like this week I've been eating anything since we had a hot dog on the bait barge. I've been eating like sushi and bread. I'm totally off the keto wagon. And tonight I'm probably gonna have Indian food with a ton of rice and just pig out on that. But then tomorrow I'm gonna go right back into keto status again. I haven't really gained weight since I went back onto regular food, which is a good sign. I think I was doing a challenge on Facebook. Some of you guys might have seen it, like 25 push-ups for 25 days to raise awareness for like PTSD and like suicide prevention. And I don't know, it's cool. Like I ended up still doing the push-ups. I'm still doing push-ups 25 a day, even though I finished the challenge a long time ago. Let's get this phone call. So, Captain Scottie. Hello, Captain Scottie. Can you hear me?
Hey, Roman. I was expecting your call, but I didn't see that I missed your call.
Oh, no worries. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to put you up on the split screen. Let me figure out how to divide up the screen first so that it doesn't look too weird. So.
Right on. I'm also almost home, though. I don't know if you maybe might want to wait another 5 minutes, and then we can get better set up.
Yeah, that's fine. Just call me back when you're ready.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna get home and unload the perishables, and then I'll call you right back.
All right, cool. All right, thanks, Scottie.
Okay.
All right, later. All right, so Scottie's gonna come back when he gets home. He had to go resupply for the next charter, so he's a little bit off the timing. Okay, let's see. What up, Cal? Welcome. You didn't miss that much. We're waiting for Captain Scottie. He had to take care of some errands that ran long, and he's got to be ready for tomorrow's charter. So we're kind of held up on that, but it gives us an opportunity to hang out for a little bit and talk like we used to. Because I know you said we don't talk anymore. Oh, hilarious. 7, not enough hiss. Oh, man. Best one yet, says Doug. NKR Fishing and Outdoor says I'm out. All right, dude. Have a good one. I can sell that one. Nice. You got hooked on CBO root beer. Yeah, that's a good one too. I just can't quit. You said. I need to eat a shark steak. I need to eat a steak. Yeah, I need to eat steak. Steak is awesome. Yeah, Doug. The keto diet means you eat protein and fats and greens. So yep, that's hilarious. Okay, so let's see what do you have going today. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much been my focus this week, is like trying to get that Twitch account built up. We're to the point where I'm gonna stop bothering you about it. So I'm gonna stop bugging you about it. But since we have time and you're all on here, what do you guys feel about the Twitch account? What's been your experience with it? Would you rather I stream the kayak fishing sessions on my channel since I can't stream them on? So let me explain to you what happened, why we're doing it on Twitch anyway. So when I moved the Fishy Hour show, this show to its own channel, I didn't realize you needed 1,000 subscribers to monetize and be able to do a chat and to do a stream like this with your phone. You can do it with the computer like I'm doing now, but I can't do it for my phone. So the only way they'll unlock it on my phone is if I have 1,000 subscribers on the Fishy Hour with Roman account. Okay. So since that wasn't going to happen right away, I figured, we need a place to stream anyway. And I've always wanted to try Twitch. Plus you guys recommended it. It's pretty cool. It's fun. It's entertaining. And honestly, if it wasn't for that Twitch itch, I wouldn't have started messing around with graphic overlays and After Effects, and basically it forced me to learn a whole new skill set. Okay, including green screen, like this behind here. It's real. I'm just kidding. but I did get a green screen, and I could potentially take a picture of this and have it in my background for whenever I need it. Right, so I can be doing this show from somewhere else. You wouldn't even know it. But anyway, how do you guys feel about Twitch? Is it good? Is it? I like. Let me tell you what I like about Twitch right now. I really enjoy the fact that you guys can basically help me build content by making the clips of the significant moments that happen during the stream. That's super fun. Okay, I really enjoy that. What you could do here actually on this stuff on YouTube is if you find something that's unusually entertaining that you enjoy, you can put a timestamp in your chat. So type in the time when something happened that you think is cool, and that gives me the opportunity to go back and rewatch that clip and see what really vibed with you guys, what you guys really enjoyed, and then I can make it to where a lot more of those moments happen. Right? Basically, make the show better for you guys based off of your feedback. Okay, so good vibes from Twitch. Okay, good Twitch vibes. Good. Halibut are on the shoot. Cool. Go fishing now, but you get a few. Oh, nice. Oh, cool. Got a few today. Cool. All right. So overall, I'm getting a good impression on Twitch. The only other option for us would be to just move. I don't want to do this, but not a fan of Twitch. Okay, there we go. We have a negative comment on Twitch. Tuna bite not so good today, says Doug, but it got some halibut. That's good. That's good. Let's see. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so that'll be so we're gonna keep doing Twitch for another couple of weeks, at least, to see how it continues to grow. We did reach a level where we unlocked a couple of they unlocked, I think it's like the ability to give some of you guys VIP status. So what that means is we could potentially like close the chat down to only allow people that are on VIP status to talk. I think that's what it does. Calicos and Reds were fire this morning. Cal, did you go fishing from a boat, like a charter, or did you kayak out there? Leonard likes Twitch so far. Cool. How many members? What? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Hey, Tony, what's up? Welcome, dude. We're waiting on Captain Scottie. He had to do some errands last minute and ran a little late. Let's see. So we're basically catching up on what people think about Twitch. Okay, I see what you're saying, Doug. How many members on Twitch? Oh, we're at, let's see, I think we're at 60, 61 possibly. So we're definitely past the 50 mark. Let's see, Twitch. Yeah, I don't want to mess with that right now. But yeah, we're definitely past the 50 mark. And yeah, it's just a cool, I like the platform. It's a cool platform. Muto says Twitch is fine. Okay, great. Those are some nice fish. Cal, okay, nice. Party boat this morning out of Point Loma. Cool. Super cool. I know Tony's been out of town doing other fun things. Did you do any fishing, Tony? Did you fish in Utah? 8 of us on board, not counting the crew. Okay, that's not so bad. Oh, it sucks. Okay, so Tony didn't get a chance to fish out there. Transition looks awesome. Just a minor tweak on sound, I think, because I noticed it lowers your voice as it happens. Ooh, okay, that's a good. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, let me see. Lowers my voice as it happens. Okay, crossfade. How about we do fade out to transition point, then fade in. I gotta see if this makes a difference. Hey, Cody, pay attention and see if this makes a difference, okay? Here we go. I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna go to this blank screen. Here we go. Oh, I gotta keep talking, right? I gotta keep talking. I'm gonna talk. Okay. So how's that? Did it fade out my voice or was it okay? Okay. Doug says there's been a lot of great white sharks. Awesome La Jolla in Del Mar and the last 2 days. Check out some drone videos. That's cool. There's Scottie. Okay, so let's get this call going. Woo! Voice faded out. Uh-oh. Hey, Scottie.
Hello, I'm back.
Awesome. Can you turn your phone sideways?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Awesome. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So Scottie's here, guys. Let's get him on the show. I'm gonna go through the split screen here and adjust the setup. Here we go. Yeah. You're on.
Yeah. What's up, everybody?
Okay, let me once it gets centered, we'll adjust the there you go. Cool. Bam. So how you doing?
A little late there.
Do you have a drink? With the pop top? Get a drink with a pop top.
A pop top?
Yeah. Like a it's competition. I got a 10 today.
Competition? What's the competition about?
Well, from 1 to 10, 10 being the best pop top you ever heard.
Ooh.
And the audience gets to choose. I'll put myself on full screen so we don't have to have like the bachelor pad tour.
Hi, Ronan.
She doesn't even know.
She wasn't about it.
Oh, it's so funny.
Let's see. I don't know what to choose.
It doesn't have to be alcoholic. It can be anything frosty.
Anything frosty. It's like my good Mexican. What's Mike Hess Blood Orange IPA? I've never tried that before. Nope.
That's funny. All right. Oh, don't start doing this to me. Skype. Maybe it's Skype.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're back. You're back. Okay, I'm gonna put you back on split screen. Here we go.
I already hit it.
You already popped it?
Uh-oh.
Did you already open it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did. All right, no worries. He'll get a did not pop DNP. Did not participate. That's good.
Yeah.
Or did not finish.
Maybe.
Oh, they're like zero.
Turn off my.
You what? Oh no, connection
In the house, that might be it.
There you go. You back?
All right. Yeah, I took off my Wi-Fi, so now I'm on cellular.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm on my network.
It's probably faster.
Is that working better?
I hope so. Let's see. I can see you now.
Am I still cutting in and out?
Yeah, a little pixelated, but it'll come through. It'll work.
There you go. Right on. Was the Wi-Fi better or?
I'm not sure.
We'll just see if it works. Whew. Well, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, right? All right, let's get this thing rolling. We're like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, so we'll keep the about me a little bit shorter so we
Yep.
can get back to let's get over to the Q&A.
Yeah, get over to the Q&A. All right, guys. So first off,
Yeah.
since we're so close to the end of the interview already, go ahead and put your questions in for Captain Scottie regarding any of the videos you watched, rock fishing, the jig fishing theory, any of those videos you've watched Scottie make with me. Any follow-up questions you have on that stuff, feel free to put it in the comments. Try to preface your questions with all caps question. So all caps question and then space and then your question, okay? And then I'll see those and I'll ask Scottie when there's a good pause in what he's saying, and then we'll take it from there. Cool?
Cool.
All right. So real quick, we're gonna go over your basic angler journey. Like, what inspired you to start fishing? What was your first fishing experience?
Awesome. So I come from like a family of fishermen. My dad was a fisherman. My grandpa were fishermen. They fished back in Vietnam. And then I'm first generation over here. And then the earliest that I can remember fishing is probably when I was about 4 years old, because I don't think I can remember anything before I was 4 years old. But my dad always had boats when I was a kid. He had houseboats. He had a mooring inside Newport Harbor. So he had that mooring for like 20 years, and he had always had different boats in and out of there. So he had a houseboat, sailboat, power boats, fishing boats, you name it. So we always fished. But then when I was younger, we did a lot more fishing like on the piers and the bays. So, kind of free fishing, you just show up and you fish. So, my biggest thing was always trying to catch bonito from Newport Pier, because like that was the thing to catch. And sometimes we did like some shark fishing too, getting bat rays or shovel-nosed sand sharks, and then a couple halibut every now and then from the pier, but that was always fun. But yeah, and then I came down to San Diego for UC San Diego, and then I graduated with a biology degree and a business minor. And sorry about that. Just got another call from somebody. I'll hit them back a little bit later.
Cool.
But yeah, so then when I came down here for college, I actually took a little hiatus from fishing. I didn't fish too much, fish a little bit here and there. But like even when I was still up in Anaheim, so I grew up in Anaheim.
Cool.
So that's why I fished Newport a lot. And then I fished some of the charters out of Newport. I fished like the Freelance, Western Pride, Thunderbird.
That's cool. That's a cool name.
And then yeah, those are great boats. The Freelance is a little so-so. That I call that the Groupon boat, because they have a Groupon deal, and so it's because any boat that's a little bit cheaper on the price, then you're going to attract a lot more of the public, and then you attract a lot more of the people who don't fish very often, so they don't understand what it is to fish on a large boat with a lot of people. But it's not that bad. I mean, everybody trying to get into sport, I think, is awesome. It's just, some people, they're just not aware of, how it is fishing with other people. Like fishing trips are always about teamwork with everybody on the boat. So for the boat to be successful, everybody on the boat has to work together. And then if, some might not be willing to, play ball with everyone else, then it's just going to make it tougher for everyone. But
that's interesting.
So it is.
That's interesting. The dynamic between, I never thought about it that way. Like
on my trips on a private boat, just 4 or so guys plus myself, I tell them all the time, like it's a teamwork between all of us. I can't do everything on my own. I got to find the fish, put you guys on it, but you guys got to get them to hook, and then you guys got to fight them into the boat.
So good. That's so good.
But yeah, so then at UCSD, I fished a little bit here and there, kind of on weekends, jumping onto a charter, or like whenever I didn't have class, maybe I'd jump on, but not very often. I'd probably say I only fished like a handful of times throughout the 4 years of college. And then afterwards, I started getting into it a little more, because after college, I got a job, got a little bit of money, and started getting into fishing some more.
That's cool.
Paying to get on the boats, paying for rods, reels, setups, you name it. And a big way that I got into it was just Craigslist. So then like somebody was selling something used on Craigslist, and then I would meet up with them and we'd talk shop, we'd talk fish. And that's kind of how I met my mentor into fishing. So my mentor that originally got me in, he kind of taught me my foundation, taught me, how to tie some knots, how to gaff fish, how to, look for fish, and kind of how to read a sonar, and so on and so forth. And then from there, I deckhanded with him. So then I deckhanded on private six packs. I deckhanded on Primetime, Jackpot, Faith, Time Machine,
That's a cool name too.
Real Champion. I deckhanded all those private six packs, and then after that, I also deckhanded some trips here and there on Tomahawk, Aztec, Polaris Supreme. That's pretty much about it.
It's like the whole fleet.
I didn't do too much on the big boats, because my whole thing is that like back then, I was either in college or I was still having a full-time position working in an office. So then I
Oh,
couldn't be a full-time crew, so I would just fill in whenever they needed help, or if somebody wanted a day off, then I would come in and work. So then yeah, that was. Oh, I also did Black Diamond as well. So Black Diamond was a boat that I worked on as well. That was a private six pack that unfortunately didn't last very long.
oh, that sucks. That's cool. So,
Yeah.
so like what? I'm just gonna ask a question because it popped into my mind right now, and before I forget it,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody was interested in becoming a deckhand or like pursuing this as a career, how do you recommend they start out?
To be honest, go down and talk with the crew, talk with the captain, talk with the owner, and kind of introduce yourself and get to know people. The depending on how much they're in need of help, if you wanna learn, they may be willing to take you on as a deckhand, so or like a pinhead status where like
Yeah.
they're not necessarily paying you, but so you can learn.
Mm.
And then if you want to be like a deckhand on for pay, they may want to make sure that you have some good experience. Um, so yeah, so like for me, the how I got in was because the guy that was my mentor, he was a deckhand on Primetime. And so then that's how I just came on as like cook deckhand.
Yeah.
So then I would cook as well as deckhand
That's cool.
on the six pack
Do you know how to make a
on
good? Do you know how to
overnight
make a good
trips.
boat burger though?
Well, I can make a mean breakfast burrito. I'll tell
Oh,
you
there you
what.
go. I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. We didn't make burritos too often. It just kind of made something simple. So like we did a lot of slow cooker. Just
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
turn
that's
on the
cool.
slow cooker,
Yeah.
throw it in there, let it cook, and get back on the deck.
Perfect.
Because then although like I cooked, it was more so kind of just setting things up and then getting back out on deck. Because then as much help as on deck we can get, that's what we needed to do. And then also, excuse me, deckhanding on the six pack boats, I got to night drive a lot. So then,
Oh.
I would be up there with the second captain, and then with them right by my side, they would kind of like show me like, okay, this is how you night drive. And then a lot of the boats that I ran didn't have autopilot. For example, the boat I run right now, the Brothers sport fishing boat, we don't have autopilot.
Yeah.
I'm driving 100% of the time. We actually have autopilot now, but it's in the garage. I don't have any time to get it installed. No days off.
Yeah.
But we'll get it in there at some point. We also got a second station. We got a tower with a second station on it. So
Oh, cool.
we're excited to get that up there. So then it'd be a lot easier to find
Spot
fish
stuff.
from
Yeah.
there as well as patties.
Yeah.
So,
Patty.
but yeah. So if you're looking to deckhand, to be honest, like as long as you have like a little bit of fishing experience, just go down and talk to the guys on the
Yeah.
boats. If
And
you
you
want to
get.
get on one of those big boats, literally walk down to the landing, walk down on the docks, and just talk to the guys. Like say, you see a deckhand on the boat, say like, hey, can I talk to your captain? I'm interested in coming out and deckhanding. See what your guys' interest or available space for a
Yeah.
new deckhand. And I've had friends like that have been able to jump on like that, because then back when I was working with the big boats, now that I'm full time with my own deal, I don't really talk to those guys too much anymore. But when they would call me, say like, hey, we need a guy, can you fish, can you work? And they're like, no, I can't, let me call some other guys. And so I got some of my
Ah, I see.
friends into deckhanding.
Yeah.
And so there's one guy in particular that I invited him down. He worked the trip on a different boat, and then just from walking up and down the docks, he's now full time on the Legend.
That's
So
cool. That's super
yeah,
cool.
so
So,
if you want to get into deckhanding, just walk down to the landing, walk up and down the docks and talk to the captains,
that's cool.
and then they might ask you a couple questions back and forth. You will need to pass a drug test.
Yeah. That's cool.
So like some
Oh,
boats
forget
they
this.
might.
I was gonna.
Yeah,
No, I was kidding.
So some boats they may, test you right off
Yeah.
the bat.
Yeah.
And some boats might just tell you like, just make sure that if we ever get called up for testing that you can pass.
Cool.
So it varies by each individual operator.
Yeah.
Some of them they'll require it right off the bat. Some of them, maybe not so much, because then maybe a little insider that a lot of people may or may not know, drug issues is a big problem in our industry.
Yeah.
It's really tough to find good guys that can fish really well but are also clean. And don't get
Makes
me
sense.
wrong, of course there's a lot of guys out there that are clean and very good, but then there's also plenty of guys out there that are not so clean and still very good and still fishing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah,
So
it's
before
a
we
big issue.
before we get too far behind on the questions, let's do some questions and then we'll continue the interview.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Let's do it.
So John's got a question. He's on a whaler. I think it's like a 16-foot whaler. Correct me if I'm wrong, John. He comes out there when we do kayak fishing. It's awesome. He actually cooked hot dogs for us. He cooked hot dogs for us on Saturday night. It was awesome at the bait barge. What's out the grill? It was great. So
there you go.
He wants to know optimum depth for. Oops, the chat just moved. Optimum depth for catching reds and large rockfish.
Reds and large rockfish. Okay, very good. So that's really tough. The deeper you go, the bigger you'll get. I'll start off with that.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. No, that's good.
Yeah. So, when we fish, so like this, I believe it was this season or maybe the end of last season, we started being able to fish up to 75 fathoms. So then we were able to start to fish 450 feet in California waters, whereas previous to that, I think it was 60 fathoms, like 360 feet. Anyways, so now that they've opened it up a little more, it opened up a little bit more places that we can fish bottom. Now for San Diego, didn't really matter too much. It didn't make that big of a difference, because even so, there's not too many places that are deep that have good structure off of San Diego, because it drops off so far. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then like other parts, for example, if you fish like around the island, so like if you fish around San Clemente Island, Catalina Island, the Channel Islands, it got a little better. So there are some spots as shallow as like 70 or 80 feet that I've gotten reds off of Crystal Pier in Pacific Beach. Because then right on the edge of the MLPA, so the Marine Life Protected Area off of La Jolla, kind of off of Bird Rock. So then just south of the border, the reef from that area drops off right there. And then there are some spots where we get reds there in like as shallow as 70 to 80 feet. But I've never gotten a big red there. The biggest red I've ever got there is maybe 3 pounds, which is honestly pretty solid for, a 3 pound red for, 70 to 80 feet is pretty good. But as of lately, the bigger reds that you guys have been seeing on my social media, those ones I've been getting around 200 feet. So like around 210 feet in the exact rocks that Roman and I did in the rock fishing video. Oh, yeah. So then, I think what happened was, hit up Roman, follow him. No, that spot, I think what happened was, in our local hard bottom areas, there might have been like a spawning of either like shrimp or krill or something like that, where I even got like a really big sand bass out on the rockfish ground, and the sand bass were spitting up these like huge shrimps, and I was like, wow, I've never seen these shrimps before. And then now like the reds that I'm catching, they're spitting up like little baby shrimps. Oh, wow. So I think there was a little spawning there that attracted the big reds to come in from the deeper water. Where like we can't fish deeper than 450 feet, but deeper than 450 feet, somewhere around the bottom, there's rocks all around there, and there's fish holing there. Yeah. I mean, even so, I wouldn't want to fish deeper than 450 feet, but Nice. But yeah, so yeah, for reds, to be honest, I've caught them as deep as off of the 9 Mile Bank in Mexico, as deep as 350 feet, and I'm sure you could get them even deeper than that. And I've caught them as shallow as 70, 80 feet. I've never caught them anything shallower than that. I do have some spots that are like there's a drop off right off Mission beach, so right out in front of the jetty from Mission Bay. There's also a drop off right there where it kind of slopes from 60 to 80, then it very quickly drops off to 120.
Yep.
I have caught some reds there as well, but I've never really anything shallower than that. So for example, like not off the jetty rocks or anything like that, because that's structure there, but I've never caught reds like that shallow. So I'd say, 80 to anything else deeper, to be quite honest, for reds.
Perfect. Cool. Okay, let's go to the next question. Let's see. We have Jeffrey Smells. Are you kidding me? That's like the best screen name. Jeffrey. Jeffrey has a question. He says, what's the biggest fish you ever caught?
Biggest fish. Okay, so my biggest fish under my belt is approximately a 240-pound bluefin.
Nice.
I say approximately because we never got an official weight on it. We just got a tape measure weight on it.
Okay.
And
for those people that don't know what a tape measure weight is, what is that?
So what we do is we take a tape measure length of its fork length, so from the tip of its nose all the way to the middle of its fork on its tail.
Yep.
So if you imagine the tail is just the middle fork.
I'll be the visual aid. You just keep talking.
There you go.
Nose,
And then around the girth, you get the girth circumference around the thickest part of the fish. And then if you Google the calculation, I forget it. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Maybe Roman can find it real quickly here.
It varies by species, right? The formula,
so then, you find one for tuna.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you find the calculation for tuna, and then it's just an estimated weight, because even then, there's some, how would you say,
variances.
Some variance. There you go. Yeah, there's some like a little plus and minus from there. So then I just estimated it's about 240 because we cut it on the boat. And then the biggest that I've ever got as a captain on the brothers boat is approximately 170, because again, tape measure weight. Because then they had me cut that one instead of taking it to the fish processor. So I mean, I will cut fish, but to be honest, with that much meat, that's a lot of vacuum sealing. Like for me, I don't cut my own fish. I drop it off at the processor because I do not have a commercial vacuum sealer, and I'm not spending those hours like vacuum sealing with a food saver vacuum sealer.
Hilarious.
But yeah, so then bluefin tuna. Under my belt, 240. Me as a captain on the brothers boat, 170.
That's cool. Perfect. Thank you. All right, let's keep it going. Let's see. I don't know if he means sis. I don't know if this means anything to you, but I don't know. I'm just gonna read it. What is the most unusual sis you have ever caught? Maybe fish. What's the most unusual fish you ever caught?
I've hooked a mola.
Oh, it's cool. Like you foul hooked it?
No, it took the sardine.
What?
Yeah. It was kind of funny. So most of the time when you see a mola on a patty, most of the time I'll be real quick on it, because then molas are very territorial.
Oh,
and then when a mola is on a patty, it'll a lot of time attack other fish that are on it. I'm gonna go grab my phone charger.
Cool.
But yeah, so like sometimes when there's a mola on a patty, I won't spend as much time on it because they'll push other fish off the patty.
Makes sense.
Now, we came up on a patty, it was a couple of years ago, and there was some Dorado on it, and we were catching some Dorado, and then a mola showed up out of nowhere. And we actually, I hooked it, and it pulled for a little bit. I fought it for a little bit, but eventually, of course, just gonna break the line, because it'll be real tough to bring in a couple 100-pound mola.
Exactly.
Light gear that we're using for a patty.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I would say that is probably one of the most interesting things I've ever hooked.
Yeah.
And not necessarily caught.
Yeah. So Kel's got a question. When using irons, how do you avoid twists in your line?
Ooh, interesting. So how are you spooling line on your reels? Because then the surface iron should not be giving you twist unless you're yo-yo fishing. If you're yo-yo fishing, you could be getting twist from the yo-yo.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, some follow-up things there. So
yeah, okay, that makes sense.
When you spool line on your reel, I don't know if you're doing it from the tackle shop or you're doing it at home. So for example, just imagine this is my spool of line here. If you need that spool of line to twist, it's maybe not easier. I mean, maybe might actually need a spool to show you guys. Let me go.
I'll
Run
go.
real quick.
I'll talk for a second. I'll talk for a second while you go get the spool.
It'll be quick.
Oh,
I'll
there
show
you
you guys
What up, guys?
how I do.
I'm here too. That's good. I'm gonna get through all your questions, guys. I'm falling behind, but I'm gonna get through all your questions. We're gonna keep it short, and then eventually we'll get back into some interview questions too if we need to.
Okay, so when you spool
Right,
your
back.
line on, you need the line to come off the spool like so. You need your spool to
From the
spin.
top.
No, well, it doesn't matter top or bottom, but
Okay.
you need your spool to spin. You see how the spool is turning?
Yep.
That way you do not get twist on your line. Whereas if you have your spool
I see what you're
like
saying.
so,
Yes.
and then you pull up like that, see how it's coming around?
It's twisting.
You will get twist in your line. So that is the incorrect way to spool line onto your reel.
Because
you need to get something on here. So all I have here is some all thread or just a rod or anything else. And then what I do is, see, I put a tennis ball here. I'll put another tennis ball on this side, and I'll cinch it down to make it tight so I can get line tightly onto my reels.
I like that tennis ball idea. I have some of those clamps too.
Yeah. So
that's
how, you know, if you spool in your garage or at home, make sure that you're doing it correctly to not get any twist on your line. Other things that'll put twist in your line, spinning reels. So spinning reels will always put twist on your line because of how it's working. So let's see here. Let's see if I can show you guys again. So
yeah, I'll go full screen over here. Tell me when you're ready. I'll switch you back. Okay, there we go. So
with a spinning reel, so you see, I don't know, maybe I'll turn it around again. Okay. So with a spinning reel, so you see your line is coming from your rod. It's coming, your line is coming down your rod to your bail right here.
Yep.
And then it's going from your bail and then it's twisting around the spool here.
Yep.
So because of that motion, your line coming down from the rod to your bail and then from your bail onto your spool, that will create twist on your spinning reels. So for that reason, I love filling my spinning reels all the way to the top with braid, because you get some twist on braid, it's not the end of the world. You get twist on monofilament, you gotta get rid of it. So I mean, I change my monofilament often anyways.
So you basically just do you run like a mono leader, like on that setup?
So just a really short fluoro leader.
Oh, fluoro. Okay, yeah, sorry, fluoro leader. Yeah.
So then I'll run braid all the way to the top on my spinning setups.
Yep.
And then very short fluoro leaders to either a hook or a jig.
That's cool.
And then unfortunately this bait runner here, I've broken 2 bait runners this year. So this bait runner is shot. So the unfortunate thing is when guys, the bigger fish that we're seeing this year, I was using those bait runners as fly line setups. So like you see the reel here, see the handle?
Yeah.
You see how like I'm murking it in a circular motion here?
Yeah.
So when customers unfortunately hooked onto a bigger fish, instead of turning it circularly, they were trying to muster the fish so hard that they turned the reel handle into the reel. So instead of turning in a circle, they turned the handle into the reel because the fish was just so big and they were just trying to just muster the fish in. Because really what you need to do, you need to pull up on the fish and reel down. So instead of doing that, they were just holding and just trying to winch the fish in. And then when they couldn't, they just ended up torquing into the reel. And that's how we broke. So then honestly, that's even broken 2 of my toriums as well. So these 2 toriums here are broken because of the same reason.
Because they're using that handle as like another point of force, basically, like another, not like a crank, but they're using it as another way to like lift up the rod, basically.
No, it's just I mean, all they were doing was holding the rod steady and just trying to crank the fish in, trying to muster the fish in. And when you get into bigger fish, you do have to pull the rod. You have to pull the rod up slowly, and then you have to reel the line in onto the reel.
Without losing the bend.
Exactly, with always keeping a bend in the rod.
All right, so I see.
How to keep twist off of your jigs. So to be honest, if you're yo-yo fishing, because then when you're dropping a yo-yo all the way down the bottom, it's fluttering, and then you're reeling up fast and it's spinning on the way up. The only way that I think that you'd be able to, if like, so like going back to his original question, before talking about how to spool line onto your reels, that the yo-yo, you can get twist on your line. So then the only way is put a swivel on. That's really the only way. So, have like a really heavy duty snap swivel, that has a higher rating than your weakest line. So if you're using, 50-pound mono, just get like a 65 or 75-pound snap swivel and then put that on. So because it's a reaction bite, I don't think the swivel is going to make any difference as long as it doesn't change the action of the jig. Yeah. So action of the jig is huge. So for example, there's those quick release clips. So I'm sure maybe you guys have seen them, like those kicker release clips. Yep. There's no swivel on it. It's just, you tie on the clip and then you put on your jig. I don't like them for surface iron. I prefer to just tie directly onto the ring for my surface irons, because I've found that it has changed the action. Interesting. Some guys swear by it. Some guys, say they get bit. I don't like them. Interesting. So for that is, but for surface iron, you should not be getting twist. If the guy who asked the question, if you're fishing surface iron, Cal, if you're fishing surface iron and you got twist on your line, that means you're getting twist from something else. You're not getting twist from your surface iron, because when you reel in your surface iron, all your surface iron is doing, unless you're reeling in too fast. If you're reeling in too fast, then your surface iron could be spinning, because you should not be spinning your surface iron. Your surface iron should just be kicking side to side. So if it's just kicking side to side, that means your ring is staying solid. Whereas if the jig is spinning, then potentially your ring is spinning. And if your ring is spinning, that's where you're getting twist on your line. So whereas with a yo-yo, you're reeling in so fast, you can get that twist. Surface iron, you should not be getting twist. So if you're getting twist from a surface iron setup, you're getting twist from a different reason, and then that's something that we'll have to investigate further. If you're getting twist from a yo-yo, that I can see happening. Yep. Put a heavy duty swivel on.
Nice, dude. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. Bertram Ernest asks, do you largemouth bass fish?
I do not. Okay, cool. The reason why I can't get into largemouth bass fishing is I love to fish to eat. If I'm not going to eat it, I don't want to chase after it. That's fine. So with the amount of time and energy and money that I put into fishing, if I ain't going to eat it, I don't want to spend my time after it. So I'll go trout fishing. I'll go catfishing. Almost anything in saltwater tastes good. But to be honest, I think, some people like largemouth too, depending on how you cook it, depending on how you prepare it, the largemouth can be good. But I myself haven't figured out a good way to cook largemouth. So, I don't fish for largemouth.
Awesome. Graham's got a question. He says, when the tuna are zoned into the microbait, what size Colt sniper in grams would you throw? That's funny.
So I would throw so I bought some 42 grams, but to be honest, I haven't tried them very, very much, because then they're just kind of light. And then so I think like the 60 to 80 gram would be my choice. I have seen some guys that have used 100 grams. I've been using the 120 grams, but I also changed the hook. So maybe I put a wrong hook on there and changing the action of the jig. I have not been very successful getting bit on the 120 gram Colt sniper. So what I've been getting bit on has been either the 60 or 80 gram. Those have been biting just fine for me. I have 42s. I haven't fished them, so I haven't tested those yet. I have 120s, but I put on a different hook on there that has not been working. So from my experience, 60 to 80.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good answer. Okay, let's see. John put 17. I'm not sure we put. Okay, hey, John. Oh, cool. Oh, John's boat is a 17. Cool. It's a nice boat. Muto has a question. He says, what do you think about the solunar theory, fact or fiction? The solunar? Yeah.
I think there is a lot of truth to it. So fish do have to eat every day, sometimes multiple times a day. They're opportunistic as well, so that when they do find food, when they do find a food source, they'll eat until their stomachs are completely distended. So, and then also, I don't know how often you guys have ever cut and cleaned fish. They digest very quickly. So that's why, like, we'll be able to keep fish on a long plunker drift for hours upon hours. So, the fish that we catch, the tuna that we catch, I'm throwing sardine overboard. So then there are tuna that we'll catch, like, we come up and they're busting on their own micro bait. And then I throw over sardine, and then they're blowing up on our sardine, and then we were able to catch them. And then after the trip, I come in and I fillet them, and then the micro bait is pretty well digested, and then I pull out the sardines out of them, and the sardines are already like getting digested, like all like the scales and the skin from the sardine is almost gone. Like I can't even distinct any of the skin, but I know that's a sardine by looking at the head, and then like all the skin is gone already. So like all you see is the meat and the bloodline from the sardine. So these tuna, their stomach acid, it's very strong. They digest very quickly. But yeah, so to the solunar, so the moon 100% changes the tides. So when you have more tide movement, that means the water is moving quicker. When the water is moving quicker, that means food is being pushed by the water. So then, everything is, kind of revolving around the tides. So, currents. So for example, the reason why we fish around banks. So banks are hills and mountain ranges on the sea bottom. So nutrients sink, and then cold underwater currents push nutrients, and say there's a bank on the sea bottom. Those nutrients hit that bank, and those currents push nutrients to the surface. And then like krill, for example, krill feed on the surface. So krill will come up and feed on the nutrients. Then bait fish feed on the krill, and so on and so forth.
The whole
Everything starts building around it. Yeah. So with the moon, the gravitational pull of the moon, makes tides. So when the moon is here, it'll push water in and pull water out. So when water is moving, nutrients are moving. When nutrients get pushed up to certain areas, then everything starts to build around it. So yes, I do believe that solunar theories, there's a lot of truth to it. And then
that's cool.
Busy with calls right now.
No, that's perfect.
But yeah. So like the other thing as well, so full moons. So fish feed by sight. So tuna, yellowtail, they feed by sight. So the whole reason why, dirty water is not a good thing. So for example, you get chlorophyll water. So then that's maybe something we could talk about too on a later time. Yeah. Talking about how to read sea surface temperature charts, so SST charts, how to read temp breaks and chlorophyll breaks. So chlorophyll, it makes the water dirty. So then if the water's dirty, the tuna can't see very well. They can't see their bait. They're not going to feed very well. So also going back to that solunar question, if feeding is too difficult, they're not going to feed. So that's very prevalent in inshore fishing. So for example, white sea bass, rockfish, yellowtail, if conditions are not right for them, they're not going to be out foraging, because if they go out and forage and conditions are not right for that time of day, they're going to expend the energy and not be successful in feeding. So they'll just wait until conditions are right, and they'll be more successful to feed. So tides, time of day, solunar theory, I believe there's a lot to it.
Interesting.
I believe there's a lot of truth to it, because then, fish that live off of structure, fish that, live off of rocks, kelp beds, that feed around the islands. So like, article that Ryan Bostian, captain and owner of the San Diego, did with BD Outdoors about fishing the Coronado Islands for yellowtail. He talks about current. You want to be on the uphill current side
Yep.
of the structure to fish for yellowtail. And that's the reason of that is, so say the island's here, the current's coming from the north. That means the current is pushing food. So that means the yellowtail will be sitting on this north side of the structure, waiting for food to get pushed in. So there's, currents, tides, moon phases. There's a lot to it.
That's cool.
Now, offshore, if you say like, now till the end of the year, there's going to be a lot of tuna in the region and there's going to be less bait. So we're going to do a lot more sonar fishing. So sonar fishing, what we're doing is we're driving around slowly enough that we can get a reading on our sonar. Because if you drive too fast, you get bubbles over your transducer, you're not going to get a clean reading. So we're driving slow enough. So we may even put out the trolling rods as well, because you might get a blind strike on the trollers. But we're driving slow enough that when the boat drives over a school of tuna, we see it on our electronics, stop the boat, throw chum, throws, a bunch of sardines over the side. Tuna see, sardines jetting off. They come up to the surface and start boiling. And then we've got a school to stick to the boat. We're on. And then we just fish them until either they leave the boat or fish them until we get limits. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. So
let's
offshore fishing, because they're opportunistic.
Awesome. Hey, we should do another video soon about this topic. It's really good. It's really in depth. So let's move on to the next question. So Tony's got a question. It's an easier one. What's the smallest fish you'll take to the fish processor?
Ooh. To be honest, the fish processor will take anything that you bring them, because that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I won't take rockfish to them, mostly because they're quick and easy to fillet, and then also like how I eat my rockfish, I actually eat them whole.
Cool.
So then if you guys are familiar with like Chinese steamed fish, that's how we do our rockfish. But to be honest, yeah, I mean, the fish processor will take anything.
Cool.
I guess the way that I would answer that question is anything that I don't want to vacuum seal at home, because I don't mind filleting fish. It's vacuum sealing that I just dread.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is also like how much fish, because then when you take your fish to the processor, you're going to lose yield. So then when the fish processor takes your fish and then the amount of meat you get back, you might get, I don't know, 40% yield, 45 if you're lucky. If I fillet my own fish and then I go vacuum seal, I might be around 60% yield, because then I'll take my time. Because two things: one, they're cutting their fish quickly. Two, when they give you your fillets, they're going to be very clean fillets. So then like say like the bloodline, the bones, gaff shots, the skin, they're going to cut off a little bit of extra meat so that your actual fillet is going to be clean. It's going to have no bones, no skin, no bloodline. Whereas for me, if I'm doing it at home, I might take my time and, really get in there, and save a lot of extra meat. Yeah. So processor, you're paying for the service, you're going to lose yield. But for me, for the time, because I got, a bunch of other things that I need to do, it's worth it for me.
That's excellent. All right. Let's see. Dario's got a question. He says, what's your go-to surface lure for yellowtail, and what rod reel setup would you use with it?
So right now, I really like 9-foot or 10-foot rods for jig fishing. Years ago, like 2017, 2018, when I was still like building my arsenal, I use an 8.5-foot almost exclusively. But now that, getting up there, I'm using 9 and 10-foot rods. So right now what I have on the boat are Seeker Black Steels, the 6500 model. So it's 25 to 50 pound line rating, 10-foot rods. I also have a Skinny Butt Alua. So that one's nice because it's more lightweight. Because then when you're jig fishing all day, casting a heavy setup, my elbow here actually starts to hurt. So having a lighter setup definitely helps me out, because once my elbow starts to hurt, to be honest, I put the setup away and I go to live bait, and then for reels, I just got myself a Tranx 500, and it's really fun. I actually really like it. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out, because I got so used to high speed reels because I got the power gear, and then the power gear is such a low gear ratio
Yeah.
that I got so used to reeling slow that now it's too slow. So I got to like pick up the speed a little bit. So, the power gear is good, but when you're fighting a fish, definitely 'cause you have more torque on it. But then when I'm working the surface iron with 500 power gear, I've got to get used to it. The other thing that I use Trinidad 30. So those are really expensive reels. They're like $500 retail, but they've been absolutely stellar. They cast so well. So the other thing is when you're casting or choosing a casting setup, star drags cast better than lever drags. Don't get me wrong. I used to cast with a lever drag. I used to fish my surface iron with an Abbott MXL, and it did well for me. I casted very far. I caught fish. It was great. But star drags are just that much easier. And then because the reason for a star drag is that the spool is lighter. Because the spool, when you put it into free spool, the spool actually disengages. Whereas a lever drag, your drag washer is on your spool. So when you have more components on your spool, obviously it's going to be more heavy. So then when you cast your lever drag reel, if your spool is heavier, then it's not going to have as much rotation.
That's cool.
Or it's going to take more force to get it to rotate,
Right.
and then more force to get it to rotate. You're just working against yourself.
Exactly. That's cool.
So for casting, star drags.
So Dario, you're on a kayak too. So like, I'm in the middle of trying to choose the right rod as well. Like, and I actually talked with Scottie. I also talked with Kevin. I'm gonna try to get like a 8.5 foot rod. I think I'm just trying to figure out what colors to put on there.
That's always fun.
Yeah, only because we're sitting down some of the time, and like a 10-foot rod or like a 9-foot rod might be too much. I think you're on an Outback, right? So yeah, that'll be my 2 cents.
It might not be too much to cast, but it'll definitely be too much to fight a fish.
Yeah, give the fish all the leverage, tip you over.
Yeah. The shorter the rod, the more leverage you have. The longer the rod, you're giving leverage to the fish.
Yeah. But also, you can also keep the rod pointed towards the bow of your boat, and you should be good.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too with the kayak. I mean, you at least need something long enough that you can move your line around the tip of your kayak to switch the other side. So that's why, like, also for my rods, I really like at minimum 7.5 on my boat, because then if we have to go around the motor, or if and then other thing is, like, if that fish makes a run under the boat, so say like you got a fish almost to color and then the fish starts running under the boat, just stick your rod tip down in the water and the fish will circle around, because these fish, they swim forward. I mean, maybe they might be able to turn a little bit, but in general they're swimming forward. So as they're swimming forward, you got them hooked in the mouth, they're swimming forward and you're pulling them up this way, they're going to circle. So, because then, say your boat's over here, they're going to circle because you're pulling them with the line. So if your fish starts running under the boat, stick your rod tip in the water and it'll circle back around away from the boat.
It won't hit the boat.
That works for a small boat. That works really well. For one of the big charter boats, if it really gets to the other side of the boat, then you're gonna have to very quickly get to the other side of the boat. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I do like, for my customers, I see the line going, and then I know we're not even close to color yet. Then I'll grab their rod and I'll take it around the bow, or I'll take it around the motor, and then I'll pass it to them. I say, like, meet me on the other side of the boat.
Cool.
We do move around the boat, but so it's here for surface iron. I like my 9 and 10 foots, and I like my star drags.
Perfect. When targeting tuna and yellowtail, do you only drop on them if they're marking or busting on the surface, or do you take a chance on a fishy area?
Both. Except the last one. I don't take a chance.
Okay.
So, if I don't see signal of fish, or if I don't know 100% there's fish there, I don't waste time with lines in the water.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to tell my customers to just put lines in the water just for the sake of putting lines in the water.
Makes sense.
If there's no fish there, I'm just not going to spend the time. Now, when I deckhanded, there have been times where I know for a fact there was no fish around, but at the very end of the day of a tough day of fishing, the captain just stops the boat and let's pretend that there's fish around and just let customers put lines in the water. Because then, we had, like, big boats have this issue all the time. customers will say, they drove around all day. We never caught anything. We never even put a line in the water. And the whole reason was because the captain never saw any reason to.
Yeah.
They never found any fish. You know, they never sonared any fish. They never saw any birds. They never saw any breezers or boils or foamers. So then, you know, why waste your time? Keep on looking.
Yeah.
So when I get to a zone, so if I'm tuna fishing, I will not just put in my lines just for any reason. I have to see a signal of fish. Either I got them on the sonar and I'm going to throw bait. So I'm going to absolutely dump sardine over the side to attract them to the boat. Or if they're busting up on the surface. Now, sometimes you'll see birds crashing, but you won't always see fish breaking the surface.
Yeah.
You know, that happens more so with yellowtail. With tuna, though, more often than not, because tuna are a lot faster. They zip a lot more.
Yeah.
They'll see a bait and they'll zip from all the way over here, and then they'll break the surface, crashing that bait. Whereas yellowtail, sometimes they might mill around slowly and then see a bait, and then, you know, come in slowly and then quickly attack. So sometimes you'll see birds working, and if you don't see something break the surface, that's a lot of time yellowtail. And then when you see birds working and then you see fish breaking the surface, that's more tuna-like. So I have to see signal of something before I drop lines in. I'm not going to waste my time. You know, if I'm not sure there's fish there, I'm not gonna do it, unless like I'm fishing yellowtail. So like say I'm fishing the Coronado Islands, or I'm fishing along the kelp beds. If it looks fishy, then I might be able to do it. Because then, you know, you won't always see yellowtail break the surface, but they definitely may well be around there. So for example, certain parts of the Coronado Islands, you know, to fish the surface iron, obviously your boat has to be stopped. So then if it looks fishy, if I see signal of yellowtail, then, you know, we'll put lines in. But for tuna, if I don't see boils, if I don't have them on the sonar, if I haven't gotten them to stick to the boat, I won't put lines in. So yeah, I don't know if that answered the question.
That's perfect. No, it does. Do you bleed your tuna?
100%.
Cool.
Tuna, yellowtail, dorado, halibut, lingcod, all like the game species, I bleed them 100%. And the only things I don't bleed are rockfish. Yeah. So
that's cool.
I wish I had a fish to show you. You guys know the collar of the fish?
Yeah, I have a diagram here. Let me get this.
There you go.
Let me go split screen with you. Whoa! Look at that transition. Woo! All right, here we go.
Okay, so go ahead and point to the collar of the fish. So right there, right under the collar is where the heart is. So now move a little bit forward towards the mouth. So there's the gills.
Yep.
So then right there in between the gills, the tip of the mouth, so a little bit farther forward, right there, there's like a artery there that's synonymous with our aorta. So it's the largest artery coming from the heart.
Yeah.
So, you know, the heart pumps blood towards the gills, then it goes through the gills. Oh no.
Yeah, because it's got to get oxygenated at the gills.
Through the gills, yep. Right. Gets oxygenated in the gills, and then from the gills goes through the rest of the body.
Yep.
And then circles back to the heart without oxygen, and then the heart pumps it back through the gills.
Yep.
So from the heart to the gills, so from the collar. So go ahead and back up again, Roman.
Yep.
Let's back up to the collar. So there's the heart, and then move forward towards the gills. And then from there, right there at that point where he has his finger, what I'll do is I'll run my fingers through the fish. So like laterally through the fish. Or like say like, you know, the fish is right here, you know, from like the left side through to the right side, I'll run my finger through the gills, and then I'll move up towards the tip of the mouth, and you'll hit their artery, that's their aorta. And then the heart will just start spewing blood with pressure. Like blood will be coming out with pressure. And in addition to that, I'll also cut a gill. So as you see, like I've got bandages. My hands are always cut up because
Like
I
Bill.
have it's a bad habit. Don't get into a habit of bleeding your fish with your hands. It's a bad habit that I have. Don't do it. But I mean, do as I say, don't do as I do.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, I bleed my fish. And then if it's a bigger fish, I use my raw water wash down and run salt water through the fish's gills to give it more oxygen to continue to bleed more. If it's a smaller fish, I've got a 10-gallon brute bucket. So I've got a 10-gallon bucket that I fill up with salt water and leave the fish in there to continue to bleed out.
That's
Before
awesome.
putting it on ice. And I put it on ice immediately. And then I always do a slurry. So salt lowers the boiling point. So you add salt water to ice, it makes a slurry that's very cold. And then it surrounds the fish completely. So whereas like if you have just, crushed ice around the fish, sometimes it doesn't cool down the core of the fish. So I did that once where like I caught a fish, bled it, put it in on ice, and I didn't add salt water. And I had plenty of ice. And then when I filleted the fish, I saw the difference in the color. So when you fillet your fish, if you have really nice color to your meat, you kept it at the right temperature. If the meat loses its color and it looks faded or it looks a little off color, that's because it got warm.
Interesting.
So I'm very very particular about my fish quality. So put the fish on the deck, bleed it, let it bleed out in salt water, and then put it in slurry.
Awesome. That's cool. That's a good recipe for slurry too. Cool. Okay, so we're past the 8 o'clock mark, guys, but we started a little bit late. So if you guys have any last minute questions, put it in the chat, and I will ask Captain Scottie. I'm gonna ask some a couple interview questions just to wrap it up, and while we wait for more questions to pop in. What's your goal? Like, what's your long term goal with brothers?
I know that's a loaded one there. Ooh, it got heavy in here. Damn.
That's hilarious.
So I'll be honest with you guys. This is getting tough. I'm getting worn out. I'm getting 4 hours of sleep a night.
You're a deckhand, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I need a second captain. I need someone to give me some relief. So unfortunately, like coming up, like I'm just gonna block out more dates for myself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm working like a dog. Because then if you can imagine, a 12-hour day, so a 12-hour fishing trip for my customers. I'm down at the boat 2 hours early, and then 12 hours fishing, and I'm 2 hours after to clean up.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I go home and then I'm answering voicemails, I'm answering emails, I'm texting people back,
calling into Fishy hour.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is cool. This is cool. I mean, I'm all about the community too. But then even on my days off, so for example, today was a day off, I'm going to the tackle shop. I'm down, fixing some things at the boat, always something wrong going with the boat. So eventually I want to find someone who I can have on as a second, because then I have to have someone I can trust, but also every boat is different. Every boat has its own quirks.
Yep.
So then, first I have to find somebody who I would trust, and then I would have to have them come on as a deckhand with me to fish trips with me so that they can learn not only everything that I know, but also all the quirks about the boat.
Yeah, the whole process for dealing with the customer too.
Yeah,
the whole spiel.
Exactly. Yeah. And then hopefully, I'll be able to, one day just hand over the keys to somebody to run a couple trips. Maybe not full time.
Yep.
Maybe every once in a while. But eventually, in order to grow, to run multiple boats, I would be looking at having a captain run a boat full time.
Yeah.
But that all takes time. We started in 2018, and it was slow because nobody knew who we were.
Yeah.
Then 2019 came around, and then when other boats got booked, they had to find other boats, so they found me. And then now this year I'm fully booked. I'm honestly turning away 2 to 3 charters per day. are you, like a lot of people call last minute,
Yeah.
like, hey, do you have anything available today? Hey, do you have anything available tomorrow? Hey, do you have anything available this weekend? And I'm fully booked for August, and I'm fully booked Friday, Saturday, Sundays, all the way through the second week of October. So if you want Friday, Saturday, Sunday, unfortunately, I won't be able to get you on with me unless I get a cancellation. Yeah, so the ultimate goal, we're also looking at a bigger boat. We're looking at a 28 Parker, because then the difference between a 28 Parker and a 23 Parker is huge.
Yeah.
Because I get beat up in that 23, running day after day. I mean, because if I run a 16 to 18 hour work day, I come home, I shower, I eat, I hang out with my fiance for a little bit, and I might sleep for 4 hours, and I get up and do it again.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
intense.
So yeah, sleeping 4 hours a day, it gets rough real quick. So I think the other thing I'm going to do is every month I'm going to take like a little vacation for like
Yeah.
a 2 to 3 day stretch where I'm doing nothing. Because then over the last 2 months that we started getting back in it, so June and July, I've worked every day on the water, and I maybe have like 7 or 8 days between now and then, that maybe 9 days. I don't know, if I look at the calendar, I'd be able to tell you for real, but where I wasn't on water. But like I said though, a day on the water, off the water, I'm still working.
Yeah.
I'm going cleaning the boat, fixing something on the boat, going to the tackle shops, answering phone calls, emails and all that stuff. So yeah, so ultimate goal, getting a bigger boat so it'd be more comfortable for me.
Yep.
And then being able to find someone who I can trust to run trips, because it's a really tough thing to do. Number one, safety. Fishing is fishing, but to go out on the water and how dangerous it is, I wouldn't want to put anybody in any kind of jeopardy. So number one, find somebody who can keep people safe on the water, be a good mariner. Two, be someone that somebody can like, because again,
That's true.
fishing is fishing, but if you're a complete a-hole, people aren't going to like the experience. So and then three, be good at fishing, and then that can be coached. The first two things is all about personality.
Yeah.
Because then if you're not cautious and careful and understanding of what it takes to be safe, then it's out the window. If you don't have the personality of like being in service,
Yeah, you can't coach
having that customer service for other people, because then when you deal with the public, you never know who's coming on the boat. You know what I mean? So, and those are two things that I have to see in somebody. And then fishing can be taught.
Yeah.
That just takes time. Fishing is just more time on the water. You'll learn, you'll get experience, and you'll figure it out. So yeah.
That's cool.
That's ultimate goals there for brother sport fishing.
Super good. Well, I wish you the best and good luck with that. I hope it happens sooner than later, so
Thank you,
get some
Roman.
rest. And I really, yeah, dude, like you should be giving yourself vacation, man. At least a good 3 day, at least a good 3 day every once in a while,
Yeah,
I feel like you earned it, dude.
Yeah, right now I'm running 4 days, then taking a day off, 4 days and taking a day off. But then, say like if I was working a 9 to 5, I'd work 5 days and take 2 days off.
Yeah.
So, I every once in a while I'm going to need that extra bit. Because then right now, I'm running 4 days and I get a day off. That day off, I got to go to the tackle shop. I need hooks, fluoro,
Yeah.
weights, or, I got to take my boat in for engine service, or, I gotta fix something on it. So it's never a day off. Whereas like if I take like a 3-day period, maybe the first day I could just really just do nothing, sleep in and do nothing. Then the next day I might like go to the tackle shop, and then the next day I might fix something on the boat.
That's funny.
So
Salty's got a good Salty's got a good question. We'll wrap it up with this question from Salty. It's kind of like funny. Have you ever had to or wanted to kick a person off the boat?
No, I mean, I can't say honestly that I've ever wanted to do that to somebody, because that would have a lot more issues. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've had some, some people that kind of irked me or like annoying for one reason or another, but I've never gotten to the point where I wanted to cancel a trip. If at any point somebody did something that I wasn't happy with, I would end the trip, forget everything. We're going back to the dock.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, definitely. But unfortunately, I've never gotten to the point where I wanted to kick someone off in the water, because that's a whole different subset of safety issues.
Have you ever have you had any customers where you're like, all right, that's the last time that dude's coming on this boat?
Yes.
Okay, cool, interesting. Okay,
Yeah, yes.
so people have done weird stuff enough. Okay, let's do this. What are the things that will get you banned on a boat? That was the last question, I swear.
Let's see here. There was a guy that brought a firearm on the boat without letting me know. There are guys that bring you know, paraphernalia, drugs on the boat without letting me know. And so those are not allowed.
Because you're basically responsible for that stuff because it's on your boat.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And then you know, especially like if we're going across the border, you know, U.S. Mexico border, now you're, you know, trafficking across the border. Yeah, and then so on the water it's federal. You know, it's not California. So California, you know, it's legal.
Yeah.
But on the water it's federal. So
that's right. Cool.
Other things, you know, some people are just personality wise.
Yep.
You know, some people that I like, if they ask me for like a charter later on, you know, I might tell them that I'm unavailable, or maybe I'll just tell them honestly.
Oh, is that
like,
what it is? I was kidding. No.
You know,
I was kidding.
Yeah, Roman.
Oh, it's Roman calling me again.
Yeah, I know. Like some people can be a handful. You know, like some people. You know, even though like they're paying me for a charter, you know, like they're paying me for my service. You know, they almost pay me and they think like, you know, they own me. So it's
yeah,
really weird.
I see what you're saying.
You know,
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still gotta treat people with decency. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. And then so I guess we could leave it at that. I think that's
good.
fair enough.
That's
right there.
super good. Super good. Awesome.
Because then like if I were to throw somebody in the water,
no. Oh, sorry.
You know, like it'd be tough to like. Sometimes it'd be tough to get them all back on the boat, and you know, sometimes if like the wind is strong enough.
Yeah.
So if you imagine the boat, you know, has a pilot house. So the wind hitting that pilot house, the boat's going to drift away. Mm-hmm. Whereas a person in the water, maybe just their shoulders or their head are in the water. So they're not going to be pushed by the wind.
Yep.
So the boat will move away from that person very quickly. And if that person should, you know, gulp a bunch of water, you know, start drowning. And then another big issue is people getting hit by the propeller. So say like the wind is blowing, the boat gets blown away from the person and I use the boat to try to get back to them. They're freaking out. And, that'd be a whole lot of different issues.
Last question. Last question. What should people tip? What should people tip you?
Yeah, so that's
like what's a range? That's like a real true like question, not just like if you don't mind talking about it, like we know how much your charter costs. What do you expect to get tipped? Like that way it's not an awkward question like, oh, how much should I tip? Oh, I don't know. Just tell us. What's the range?
Yeah, so a good rule of thumb that I like to tell people, because like customers on the boat, like at the end of the trip, they'll ask me too. I'll just tell them, you know, like whatever percentage that you would tip, like, you know, your service person at a restaurant, you know, go with that percentage, you know, with my trip. Because then, you know, at the restaurant, you know, when they're waiting your table, it might be anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe longer, depending on how long you're there. I'm with you for 12 hours. So, you know, just whatever percentage range from the trip cost that you would tip any other service person, just go with the same with that.
But not by time, but by the percentage of the trip cost.
Percentage of the trip cost.
Percentage of the trip cost.
That's generally cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, you know, like whatever percentage your bill is, you know, that's how many plates they brought you, you know, whatever percentage of my trip cost, because my trip costs are dependent on amount of hours on the boat.
Right.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So it's brothersportfishing.com. It's 2 S's in there because brothers ends with an S and sportfishing starts with an S. So brothersportfishing.com. He's got some openings for weekdays in October, right?
September.
Weekdays in September.
And October.
Okay. If you guys are interested, let them know. We're actually affiliates.
Yeah.
So just in full and for full disclosure, Scottie has become an affiliate of the show. So he gives me a little cut of the action.
Woo!
Woo! Cool. Hello. Julian's over here trying to get in the shot. Put a shirt on. They like to roll without shirts all day in the house and call themselves pool guys. Anyway, cool. Not 20%, Doug. It's a small percentage. I'm not trying to muscle in on his business. It's just a small percentage of referrals. Okay. So good stuff. Scottie, thanks again for jumping on here with us and sharing your knowledge, and of course, taking me out on your boat sometimes and not putting me on the ban list.
No, you're always welcome on the boat, Roman. You're great on the boat. You fish hard all the time.
Super fun. Cool. So if there's anything else you want to share before you go, anything you want to plug, let us know.
Like the video right now.
Awesome. There you go. Like the video. And guys, so Scottie, I'm gonna hang up with you and I'm gonna wrap up the show with these guys. So thanks again for jumping on here with us. Thanks so much. Have a great night, dude. Thank you.
Thank you, Roman. All right. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you again soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Goodbye.
Hold on, Gigi. I'm gonna wrap up the show and then you want to say hi? Here, come here. Okay. I'll sit down right there.
Hello.
They can see you. See, this is all the people talking over here. They can see you. Say hi, guys. Say hi, guys. No? Okay. Wait for me outside. I'm almost done. Cool. There it is, guys. So almost. You better tip better, Roman. Nice, guys. Do me a favor. I just put out a video on the Roman Castro channel. I'm gonna put the link in the description. Sorry, I put the link in the chat. Do me a favor, and after this stream is over, go over there and watch the full video. There's something I left in there for you guys, a little Easter egg, and let me know what you think about all the new stuff I've been learning with the motion graphics and stuff. So let me know what you think. It's basically a video I put together from the outing we went with MMFC about 2 weekends ago. On a Saturday, we went to Zuniga Jetty, and I got some cool footage of you guys. I think next time we go out, I'm gonna do a lot more filming of you guys because I think the videos turn out nicer when it's not just me sitting on the kayak. It's nice to get some footage of you guys fishing out there, and it gives me an opportunity to also share your activities, your setups, and your accomplishments within the fishing world. So anyway, that's what it is. Again, the link is in the chat. Click on that link, go say hello, and leave a comment and give it a like, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Fishy Hour Trivia Night. Remember, tomorrow we're playing for this awesome book that Captain Dan donated to the show for Trivia Night. It's called At the Rail, Long Range Fishing. It's for tuna, wahoo, yellowtail, and dorado. Locations, species, methods, and techniques. Battle stories and history. So it's a really cool book. Retails on Amazon for about $100. So this is a mega prize compared to our usual $25, $27 gift certificates. We're gonna be firemen right now. Is that funny? Let's go play in a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna hang up right here and we'll play. Okay. Cool. So yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Go watch the other video. Put it in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at 7 Trivia Night. It's gonna be fun. Share the show with people if you know anybody that's been watching the show and they can't figure out what happened since we moved it over to this channel. Do me a favor, just tell them to go to fishyhour.com. That's gonna take you to the page that's got links to all the right places on the right days. Okay, so again, I should have been playing the music the whole time, but whatever. It's a show that never ends. Oh, John says I'm going to win tomorrow. Right, calling it. Nice. Cool. All right, so thanks for jumping on here, John, Salty Dangler, Zach, Leonard, Cal. I didn't see Wayne here today, but shout out to Wayne anyway. Dario, Doug, let's see, Hyder, Todd, TB Metal Art in the house. What up? Lee Adams, nice to see you. I don't think I've seen you in the stream before, but welcome. Doug, Dario, Muto, Dogview Drone, Zach, Sandra, Ralph. What up, Ralph? All the way from Tokyo. Good seeing you. Good questions too, Ralph. That was good. Let's see. We have Tony. Thanks, Tony. Thanks for modding today. Oh, Tony, I need to make you a mod. I need to make you a mod on this channel. So you're totally... Boom, you totally got modded. You're a moderator again. Woo, you got your power back. If anybody else is interested in helping me moderate the chats on Fishy Hour, let me know in the Discord and I'll make you a mod. So you can help me deal with any shenanigans that might happen in here. Okay? Again, let's see who else. Mutual, Jeffrey Smells, winner of the best name. That's gonna be a trivia night question. Who has the best name? Who else is sitting here? Sandra, I think I already shout out Sandra. Cal, NKR Fishing. I think it's maybe already out. Who else? All right, that's pretty much it. Good stuff, guys. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again. Good night.